want to.
We are back on MorningLine. We're chatting during the break, and we're back up talking about services available not just in Davidson County, but across the state through organizations like the Metro Action Commission. All right, Marvin Cox is with us, Lisa McCready. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
And yeah, I was asking them, you know how we have Josh Horn on from Social Security, and so many of you call in when we do those shows. And there's folks either on SSI or disability, or you're in the process of having applied and you're waiting to get approved. And what are you supposed to live on while you're waiting 6 months to a year to get even approval? And I asked them during the break, and you said, all right, so some of who you see are folks that are on disability, SSI or otherwise, or maybe they're waiting, and so being on that benefit doesn't preclude you from coming to you.
It does not. It does not. And so we see, when you see the benefits that they actually receive when they receive them,
it's not enough to put them over the income level.
It's not a lot at all. And so, you know, having programs like ours set in place, I mean, who doesn't need electricity? You know, who doesn't need water? Who doesn't need, you know, the essential things? And so we're really very glad that it doesn't preclude them, you know, if they're receiving something somewhere else, it doesn't preclude them from getting benefits from us.
Okay, I think it's important. Now, the energy assistance, you just touched on it again. We're coming out of winter, even though it's snowing right now. But in the winter, you know, obviously your heat's crucial. And in the summertime, especially with some of the summers we've had, you need air conditioning. So I do remember coming over and doing stories, seeing folks come by and pick up air conditioners from you. You still do that?
We do. We do.
So you take donations of new air conditioners from various organizations?
Yes, or funds.
Funds.
We can't take used because we don't have the ability to, you know, check them out or whatever. So new in the box, or make a contribution towards an air conditioner. And so
these are usually the window. It's not some HVAC unit, but they're the window units. So for some of these folks, what they need is one cool room in their house, right?
Yep. And then the units that we have, it can cool off a standard size house.
Oh, okay, that's great.
So, and it's energy efficient. And then, you know, having the energy assistance program, you know, if the bill goes up just slightly, they can apply for us. But I think probably one of the most rewarding, I guess, trips that Marvin and I were able to take was that a neighbor knew of a lady, a senior lady that lived next door to them, and they knew her air was out, and she was afraid to lift her windows, and so her house was stifling. Oh my gosh. And so we went there just to check on her, and we had the unit because we had some people that were going to help with it. And just being in that home for a short period of time that we were there was just, I mean, it was stifling. But then to have the air, you know, start to work and all this other stuff, and she feels secure and she's safe, because being in a home like that can be very unsafe for anyone, especially somebody that's advanced in age.
That was a life and death situation. It was. There was a story a couple weeks ago that, I don't know, you may have seen. It wasn't locally, where they found an individual who froze to death in his home. That broke my heart. That shouldn't happen.
No, no.
Period. And she could have died from the heat.
But it was a neighbor. You know, she didn't know about us. You know, the lady.
So that's why we do shows like this, right?
Absolutely. So people can tell.
Maybe someone may be sitting there saying, I don't need this, but I know of someone, but a neighbor, and they put the call out. Now, again, this neighbor made the call out. She referred, this woman didn't come to you directly? Or
she did not.
You guys reached out to her after the neighbor said, look, you guys need, so you guys do go out and do checks if you get a call from something like that?
A lot of times, you know, we have people, they go through the actual process, which was they apply. But then sometimes we get those, I guess, and that's where I jump in, the special kind of projects kind of thing. I'm the bleeding heart of the agency. And so I was like, Marvin, we got to go.
You guys are all bleeding hearts over there. You guys are all, well, I don't know, bleeding. You all have big hearts.
Big hearts, yeah. And so sometimes we do have to go to the homes because they can't get to us. And so we make those arrangements, and we have incredible support throughout this city. And that was one of the things to because we couldn't install it, so we had some other people to join us to install it. We have some people who are not able to get to us to apply for their energy payments, and so we have a system in place to where we can go out and talk to them and get what we need.
And the energy payment, again, I guess it's a one-time, right? Is it all assistance is a one-time award per program year?
That is correct.
Now that assistance, as you said, might be more than what you need in that 1 month, and it could carry over if that lump sum is amount. And to do it then, so you go by, and by the way, tell folks where your office is again.
We're at 800 2nd Avenue North.
You have to come in person?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
You can mail everything in to us, and we can correspond with you by mail. You can bring it in. We've had some that if you're able to scan it and we're able to see it, we're able to take it that way. We prefer that it be mailed in. I know you're cringing over here, but we prefer it because sometimes it doesn't transition, transmit very well. But we're doing all we can to get the information from customers.
Proof of income, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have income, please bring some forms that you have filled out. But 12-month billing history provided by your energy suppliers, social security cards of everyone in the home, most current monthly bill. I mean, it's basic stuff. I know it's hard to get the 12-month billing history.
Well, it's tricky, but not hard.
Okay.
But we have a partnership with the energy
so
suppliers.
they kind of know what you're asking for.
Yeah, they
it's
know
not
what
like,
they're
what did you
asking
want?
for.
I'm dealing with Metro Action.
And they know immediately what it is. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So
or we can get it for them if they can't navigate that. We're able to get it for them.
Okay, now you made that good example of this elderly woman that you helped. So how quickly then when they come to you can they get it as you said, think ahead if you can, knowing it's coming and get it in place for when you need it. But how quickly can you turn it around? And you guys are busy over there.
We are.
Yeah, we do a turnaround time at least 10 business days.
Okay.
Sometimes it's quicker than that.
Yeah.
And we encourage people to not wait till it's disconnected. So we're hoping that people will really be encouraged to get it in to us because we have money that we need to spend, and we're encouraging people to really come in and apply.
So what you're saying is, I mean, is there a point every year, depending on how things go, where you do run out of the money? Or do you typically, since they're one-time awards and you have the criteria, you kind of know, but I mean, some years you may have, I don't know, is it hundreds? Is it thousands of people?
It's millions.
No, I mean on a given year, just through your office, you have millions? No.
Millions of dollars?
No, people.
People, oh.
I'm sorry, I was saying.
Thousands of people.
I was thinking thousands of people.
10,000.
So I was wondering, have you ever been to the point,
20,000.
has that money, which by the way, we should say, this is all federal money.
It is.
Okay, and it comes through the state and is channeled to you guys. So have you had the point where you've ever had to run out of that?
Not recently.
Wow, that's great. Now, I don't know if that's
recently.
good or bad, because I mean, I hope people are all taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, if you don't use it one year, it just rolls over to the next.
Sometimes, but usually not, right?
Right.
They take it back.
Usually not.
And then you get the new fund grant the next
Right.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you're in your shoes, you guys want it all gone.
Yeah,
Yes,
because we don't want to
absolutely.
give the impression that it's not needed. We also know that there are populations that don't believe that they qualify. And so what we did was we were like, well, what about the college students that don't stay on campus? And so we've been at Nashville State, we've been at TSU downtown campus, we've been at Trevecca, because there are students that don't stay on campus, but they still have low incomes. And so we have this whole population of people now that say, you know what, I am eligible, and this would be helpful for me.
I didn't even think of that.
We didn't either.
But college students, the reason I wouldn't is I think, well, if they're going to college, they must have a means of paying tuition unless they're getting scholarships. But the tuition would not push them over that threshold of the money they have to qualify.
I mean, they still have to go through the income verification, but a lot of times they qualify because their incomes are at a
nothing when I was in college.
I did too.
And that's the thing too. A lot of folks that are in college, then, if they're not earning a lot, are on financial aid. So would the fact that you're getting a student loan?
Nope.
Student loan would not factor in.
This is brilliant for students.
Their working income, because in many cases the parents are paying the tuition, and the student will be responsible for their bills. So most students are working, and they're probably working 4 or 5 hours a day, which when you look at it over a month time is not a lot of money. So they would be eligible. And the second population is the population we just talked about. Those that are on Social Security or getting SSI, particularly seniors, they will be the first group to say, well, I'm going to let the folks that need it get it, and I'll just do. But really, it's that population we really want to help, because we know they've given their time to our society. So we want to make sure that the seniors are taken care of. And for someone who had a great grandmother to live for 100 years old, I have a heart for our seniors. So I really encourage our seniors to really apply for this service, because this could benefit them and sometimes because their bills are so low, they can get help maybe 4 or 5 months and have a credit on their bill.
Wow, that realm of it, when you think Metro Action Commission in the past, for me, in my head I had this image of families maybe where the parents lost their jobs or there was a medical problem and they're really in dire straits and they have kids, and that's legit, that happens. But I didn't think about students who are doing fine, you know, but they have to pay this, and we all are starving, struggling students sometimes. It can help carry through college.
Yes.
Wow. All right, we'll take a break on that note. I think that's interesting. I didn't know that. When we come back, we can take more calls if you have a question or comment. If not, sit back, listen, and take note, and either you benefit from this or share it with someone you think might.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back after this.